In this lesson, we will learn how to add a menu to an Android app. So what I have open on my screen is a empty layout, and the first thing I will do is I'll go to resources and I will add a new directory, and let's name this directory as menu. Now what I will do here is within this menu I will add a new menu resource file, and let's say we will name the menu resource file as menu underscore me. So now that I have created a new menu resource file, so now this layout would open up on my screen. So now what do we want to do? We want to add what are the menu items. So I will add a menu item and add it to my here. So now the title here is what we want to show. So let's say we want to talk about the company. So the title is about, and let me give it an ID about. So ID is how we will be able to refer it. So let's add another menu item. So let's say the next menu item is we want to talk about our courses. So we call it title courses, and the ID I give it is courses. And let me add a third menu item, and let's say the menu item is we want to tell them about our website, and the ID is website. So here we have created three menu items, and let us see how do we utilize it and run it. So now I'm back in my main activity. Now how do I use it? So the first thing we would do in our main activity here is we will need to create the menu. So we will say public boolean on create options menu. So we will design this method and with a menu as parameter. And what do we do in this method? So we will say get menu inflator dot inflate, and here we will now add the r dot. So this is the structure we had created, the directory we had created, menu, and within that we had created this resource file menu main, and we will give it menu. So we have created it, and then we will just return true because it returns a boolean. So now we have in some sense added. So the inflator will inflate the menu and it will add it to our application. Now we want to do that when we choose that menu and click on it, we should be able to put some logic on it. So let's build some toasts there so that when we click on it, we are able to display a pop-up or a toast message. So let us say we write that method. So what it will be, public boolean on options selected, on options item selected. So whenever an item is selected, and what we will give it is menu item. So whenever a menu item is selected, so what do we want to do? So let us add it. So the first is we will switch on the options that we have, switch on item dot get item ID. So we will get our item IDs, and what are the item IDs we had put in? So let's do case dot r dot id dot. The first one we had put in was about. So remember in our menu XML we had put in the ID about, the ID courses, and the ID website. So these are the three options we need to handle. So when it is ID about, what do we need to do? We will show a toast. So toast dot make text, and what do we give it? Get application context, comma, let us say we want to tell us about. So EduFact is the best institute for Android. So this is the toast we want to show. And after that, what are the other options we need to give it? We need to give it the duration. So toast dot length short, and we will call dot show. So the standard way we use a toast. So once we have done that, and in this case we will return true. So at the end of it, it will display this toast and it will return true. Now what is the next option? So the next would be when we get case r.id. What was our next menu option? It was courses. So when we do courses, what do we want to say? We want to say toast dot make text get application context. And what is the message we want to say? We want to tell us about our courses. So let's say Android, Python, Angular, Java, Spring. So let's say this is the message we want to show, and then obviously we want to set the setting for toast dot length short and then a dot show, and we need to return true. So we have handled the second menu case. What was the third one that we had made? So let's go to the third one. The third was r.id.website. And in this case, we just want to show the URL of the website. So toast.make text get application context. And what is the message? www.edufect.com. And we want to show toast.length short and dot show. So again the same thing, and we will return true. So we have handled the three cases, and let us just, in case, we will add just a default option. So what we will do in the default is we will just return super dot on options item selected. So if it is not this ID, we will just return super dot on options selected item. So this is a standard thing we do. So we have either handled it or we have just asked our super to handle it. So with this, our application design is complete, and now we will start building our application so that we can test it. So here, as you can see, we added 3 menu items, and in the on options item selected, we handled all these 3 menu items, and we have shown toasts related to them. So now let us wait for our build to happen and the APK to come up, and now our application has come up. So this is where our menu is. So this is the 3 dots for the menu. Let us click on it, and what do we see? We see about, courses and website. If I click on about, I get the Edufect is the best institute for Android. If I click on courses, I get Android, Python and the course list. And if I click on website, I have gotten www.edufect.com. So here we have added the menu, and we were able to handle the click for the menu.